this is a mess from Man United. This game has lost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job. When is a different question. Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel and The Fallout. Every single Sunday I put out a tweet and it says this. So, any ideas for The Fallout? That's right, you become my producer. Thank you for that. And you guys have spoken, and we are going to dive into some of the comments that you've put forward. So many goals this weekend, an absolutely fantastic weekend of football in terms of entertainment, but there's no bigger talking point than, of course, the fact that Man United are going backwards. Massively going backwards. And I'll dive into that, and I'll give you my thoughts on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who I've kind of flip-flop like a lot of people when it comes to kind of giving him the opportunity, but also seeing the kind of cracks that seem to be there when it comes to his management of this football team. And yesterday, there are some amazing elements to it in terms of how bad Man United were, but also I want to focus on how good Liverpool were. And because essentially, you put that halfway line, really that's a mirror. That was a mirror that was kind of showing to those Man United players as they looked across. They were going, we ain't that. Or is it more of a window? Let me know in the comments below. On my preview on Friday, I said I was going to give away a copy of Football Manager. I have announced who that person is on my community tab. If you're a subscriber, then you, of course, will be able to go and see that message and see if you have won. I have one more to give away. If this video gets to 3,000 likes, 3,000 likes, then I will give away Football Manager Football Manager 2022, of course. And thank you to Football Manager for giving me a few copies of the game to give out. I'll give out one more in the next video that I do. So let's dive into this, Man United versus Liverpool. And in this video, I'm going to focus on this game alone. And because there are no Champions League games, maybe tomorrow I'll do another episode talking about all the other games that happened, because there's some interesting talking points there as well. So if you're a fan of another team apart from Man United and Liverpool, and there's certain things you want me to talk about, then I'm going to do a video on that. So let me know by jumping in the comments and telling me. Right, let's dive into this. Zoe asked this question: club legends as managers and the risks associated with it. Now, everyone's had this, I think. They've had their guy, and that used to be the road. That used to be the road for managers. They had to understand what the club's about. Do you know what I mean? They gets it. He gets it. You know, those days, I feel like... Okay, when it comes to managers, there are different elements that you need, okay, to get the different responses that you want. And when I was making my notes, and I might be able to show you this, when I was making my notes, when I'm looking at it, the words I wrote down, and I think this comes down to the criteria of what you need for a manager at any level. You need the kind of the byproducts that come from it, or the starting point that creates this, right? Desire, mentality, structure, game management. Okay? A manager has to insert that, for want of a better word, into his football team. Now, so Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when it comes to this criteria, there was a dawning on me yesterday that it just again was highlighted by how good Liverpool were. And again, Liverpool fans, don't worry. I'm going to show you something that just... When I saw it, when I pieced it together, and it's from the average positions, I was just like, wow. So we'll show you that in a second. But with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, as soon as he loses a game, and he loses a game like that, 5-0, you go, okay, that's enough now, and maybe he needs to go. And what's given him this much time is exactly what Zoe's getting at, which is club legends as managers and the risks associated with them. Now, when it comes to risks, the risk is that they're not good enough. And I guess the risk is that you give them too much time. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think they've done that at all. I think they've been very fair in terms of the amount of time that they've provided to him. But when it comes to the criteria of what you need to be able to kind of pass on to your team and get an outcome from, everyone's kind of spoken about how lucky he's been, or how there's always been this response. I did a video on this in March maybe, and it was looking at expectation. And I think now, and I don't think I got to that conclusion at that moment in time, I think now when it comes to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the expectations of Man United are getting him out of trouble. or have got him out of trouble. Because however bad or limited, let's say, the management and the coaching might be, and it's a universal that everyone is saying and seen with that team in that performance and recent performances, that it's not a team that's being coached very well. When we look at last season and how they did do well, it was because it was structured in terms of it was conservative to a point, and then it relied on individuals, namely Bruno Fernandes. But with all the sort of wobbles that happened along the way, be it the pressure of the Champions League and going out of that, and then there was a bounce back, wasn't it? And that was when kind of expectations dropped a little bit, pressure dropped a little bit, and Man United went on a fantastic run. They got themselves to the top of the table, and then they started to have a little bit of a wobble again, because that pressure that comes with it, that is something that needs to be diluted by the manager, wasn't diluted by the manager at however he wants to do it, right? And I feel like he's got a lot of the blueprint that he wants, of course, from Sir Alex Ferguson. You're inspired and you take on elements from the people you play for. Of course, that's just common sense. But what I was saying in that video, and I think it was my problem with Man United, was that the expectations of the club will always allow an element of a trampoline, that there's only so deep you can go. And I think that's what has gotten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of trouble a lot of the times. Even going back to the start of his tenure, he came in, he took away the pressure. There was no expectation, really, and they went on a cracking run. As soon as he got the job, the psychology that the players were sort of filled with changed. And from that point, that's when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to deliver. And he needs to deliver in a couple of ways, right? So desire. Desire comes from setting the standards, but also I think it comes from the gravitas of a manager. The gravitas that, say, a Jurgen Klopp, or that ability to, I think, to a point, intimidate the squad that you have. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has that. And I don't think, it's not his fault. I don't think I have that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I've got that ability to intimidate. Whereas, say, someone like, let's talk Brian, True Geordie, right? He's a bit more intimidating. So you will work hard because you don't want to face the wrath. Do you get what I'm saying, right? Whereas if I go, guys, can we work hard? You go, piss off, James, go away, right? So how do you add value to a team as a manager, right? One is that gravitas, right? You then kind of turbo boost that with knowledge, with a very clear plan, and also, I guess, the strength and fortitude to deliver that plan, stick with that plan. And again, when we look at this game, when we look at those two teams, the structure that this Liverpool side had, the understanding of their roles. So when you put a team out and they play in the way that they play, it looked like a team that was caught between two. It was caught between knowing what had worked for them, because they aren't a team that can press, and having a low block against these good teams, being compact, allowing McTominay and Fred to be very solid in their structure, allowing a square of Maguire, Lindelof, the other way around, and then Fred and McTominay to give you that compact base, that compact base. That means that you're not getting overrun. They got caught between that of last year and this year, where we're at Old Trafford, we need to have a go. Something that was the exact reason why they got pumped 6-1 against Man United last time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer it was almost hamstrung by the new signings now, because a year on, there's this idea that you've got to kind of change it now. And that's why I feel like we've seen his ceiling now. Look at the first half of this game, and there's one thing that is unacceptable. It's a 90-minute game. Get through the first half. You're not as good as Liverpool right now. You're not as fluent. You're not as well structured. You can't go toe-to-toe with them. Paul Scholes said it. You can't go toe-to-toe with them. What is he thinking? And the desire wasn't there. The work rate wasn't there. That's on the personnel. But the setup of the team as well. In my preview, I said play Fred and McTominay, because what I was saying was get past this game. Everyone's got short memories. And Solskjaer will probably survive this somehow. But football fans, pundits, whoever, they have short memories. So get through this game without getting pumped, and you survived to live to fight another day. Because Man United aren't the finished article right now. And the one stat that just is so damning for me, In the first half of a game, you allow the opposition 5 chances. 5 big chances. They scored, obviously, 4 of them. And they will score 4 of them when they're chances that were as easy as that. The average positions on this is unbelievable. And this is where I come to Liverpool on this one. Because have a look at this. So first of all, you'll see them as on their own, right? First of all, what is that? What's defensively? If you're dominating the game, possibly that would work, but I'd still be incredibly confused by the fact that these 3 are together. Maybe if the hold-up play from Ronaldo was impressive, and he was able to kind of keep the ball and work together and then bring in these players, and at moments you were able to do that, then fine. But more, the truth is that you had 2 players here who were kind of trying to get forward for the team, but the transition is so huge and so long, especially against a team like Liverpool, that it's just impossible. You might get the odd moment, but you're also going to leave yourself with huge gaps down the other end. Whereas last season, far more compact, a lower block, safer, conservative, but they get through the game and they go and you move on. That's what I think he's made a massive mistake, because he feels like he's got to take the handbrake off on this team. The back 4, so open. It's crazy. It is crazy. And it's pretty criminal as well. Last season, again, they would have been here. Now, this feels the two centre midfielders would have been here. Now, when I'm talking here, people will be going, you can't be that negative. But this team's not good enough. It's not good enough today. So, and you're not going to press. You're not going to be able to press. Because a team like Liverpool, with how cohesive they are, they'll just play through you. They will just play through you. Blows my mind that the way he came out and played this game, the game management was absolutely dire. Liverpool, on the other hand, for a team that wants to press, how gorgeous is that? You can see the sort of the canvas that they're trying to put forward to stop them playing out, and the traps that they're setting as well. And I'm coming to the point now where I'm really excited to show you those 2 sets of average positions married up together on a pitch. But here you've got that, you can see you've got that lovely U shape. Hang on, will this pen bloody work? You've got that lovely U shape. That's, looking to press all the time, looking to stop passing lanes. And then the midfield 3, Milner, Henderson and Keita, superb. I know Milner had to come off pretty quick. But what they had with the positions of these guys was stopping passing lanes throughout. And let me show you that in its glory. Because what is getting forgotten here is just, I guess this is the question for you in the comments. Were Liverpool wonderful, or were Man United just absolute dog beep? Check this out, because this blows my mind. Well, not blows my mind. It just shows how fantastic they were. So this is the average positions of both teams. Now, what's so great about this is the fact that look where Liverpool are, and look at what passing lanes are available. This is just fantastic. Fantastic. Lindelof, if he gets the ball, let's do it this way. Lindelof, if he gets the ball, passing lane blocked. Lindelof, if he plays into McTominay, he's got Henderson up his arse. Lindelof, if he wants to play to Maguire, Firmino's there. Maguire, if he wants to play, Shaw's there, Salah's there, but of course his average position is a little bit further up. Every passing lane, pressure. Wan-Bissaka, if he wants to get the ball to Greenwood, Robertson's there, pressure. And I think the plaudits need to go to, I guess, it just shows that these 2 as well, they're so comfortable. If you think last season, confidence is a huge thing in football. And the confidence that this team has to press is so high for 2 reasons. First of all, they know who they are. They know what their identity is. They commit to the way that they're going to play. And they, to a man, work their nuts off. Yes, that leaves them susceptible here. But Greenwood and Rashford, in terms of their average positions and them trying to get forward for the team, it's a moment. But what happens is these players come back. In transition, they work back so hard. Go and watch that game again. I've just got rid of Keita. That's sad, isn't it? Let's put Gomez in there for a second. They work so hard in transition. So in every form of the game, Liverpool are better drilled, better structure, confident, committed as well. Whereas this is a mess from Man United. And just generally, once you've got the ball, drive, spaces, gaps. Again, even here, Fred and McTominay should be here, creating this box that we saw last season, in my opinion, and because they're not the finished article just yet, and we all know they haven't got the personnel needed. If you have that box, you're a lot more steady because McTominay can come and help out, Fred can come and help out, and then you're able to kind of utilise the other players that you've got. It was an absolute mess. And it comes down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was given the job on a technical... No, he wasn't. He wasn't given the job on the technicality, but he was given the job with great credit in the bank. So when it comes to Ole in or Ole out with me, yesterday was a huge moment. I think that was the most glaring example of both what's necessary to win a title now and also what is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's ceiling. And that ceiling might not be down to coaching. He might be looking to implement all of the things that we're seeing so glaringly. The problem is it's not translating to the pitch. And the players, for whatever reason, and it's not a respect thing, but I think there's an element of maybe it's fear, intimidation, I don't know, like love. I don't know what it could be. But he doesn't have that gravitas to get what he wants out of this team when it matters, when the pressure is applied upon them. Shane got involved in the tweet as well. He said, how about Neville still backing Ole? Now, this is the final thing that's really, really interesting with all of this, is the fact that Gary Neville kind of didn't want to say sack him because he's made it clear that he doesn't do that generally. But overall, there's a problem here where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is knee-deep in this project, but also we're not near the end of the season. So it would feel somewhat gung-ho to get rid of him now, at this moment in time, to get rid of him. But what I think will now happen, I think it is this game. This game has lost Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job. When is a different question. I think he loses his job. He doesn't manage this team next season now because of that game. The successor will be put in place. The new manager, they will start to look today because he's hit a ceiling here. It's very, very clear. There's stage one. Right, let's sort this out a little bit. Let's get a bit more of an identity to the club. Let's bring through these young players. There's stage two. Let's start to win some games. Let's be solid and beat those lesser sides. Stage three is, first of all, you've got to dominate those other teams. But to dominate these days, you have to outwork the opposition. And this is still a team that is incapable of doing that. They are a counter-attacking side. And to dominate a league and be too good, and ultimately it comes down to that. For you to win a league, you have to be too good. And to be honest, in the last few seasons, you've got to be pretty much perfect. Man United aren't perfect. They're very, very short of it. And are they at the top end of their potential? No way near. And who does that come down to? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is the game that has lost him his job. I don't think he'll lose it in the next week, month. But by the start of next season, I can't see him being the guy anymore. But let me know what you think, guys. Let me know what you think. I think the breakdown of the game is, first of all, Liverpool absolutely fantastic. Every time the ball went into the centre of the pitch, they swarmed all over them. The setup was superb. This is a game where it didn't even play Mane in this game. He brought in Jota, absolute masterstroke. Konate comes in, pretty much makes his debut. Fantastic. So Liverpool superb, Man United miles off it. I'm going to dive into the other clubs and the other elements of the fallout in a video for tomorrow, so make sure you join me for that. If you want to not miss out on that, then subscribe to the channel. If you've enjoyed this one, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. If we can get to 3,000 likes, as I said at the start of the video, I will give Football Manager away in that video tomorrow. Enjoy your week. Hang in there, Man United fans. Enjoy yourselves, Liverpool fans. See you soon.